What if nationalism had never existed? A world without flags, borders, or belonging. Nationalism is one of the most powerful ideas of the modern age. It has shaped borders, defined identities, fueled revolutions, justified wars, and inspired both solidarity and exclusion. But what if this idea, the belief that people are bound together primarily by a shared national identity, had never taken root? Imagining a world without nationalism reveals profound and often unexpected changes in how societies would be organized, how history would have unfolded, and how we would see ourselves and others. The modern nation-state might never have emerged. Without nationalism, the model of the centralized sovereign nation-state, with clearly defined borders, one flag, one government, and one dominant identity, would likely never have become the global norm. Instead, governance structures might have remained rooted in empires, city-states, or loose federations based on religion, profession, kinship, or geography. The idea of a population needing to share a national identity to form a legitimate state would seem foreign or even unnecessary. History would be far less violent. Many of the bloodiest conflicts of the 19th and 20th centuries were driven or intensified by nationalism, from World War I to ethnic cleansing in the Balkans. Without the emotional engine of national pride or grievance, it would have been far harder to convince millions of ordinary people to kill and die for abstract ideals like national honor or destiny. While conflicts might still occur over resources or ideology, the scale and passion of nationalist wars would likely be absent. Cultural expression would be richer and more diverse. Nationalist policies often involve promoting a single official culture, while suppressing regional or minority expressions. In a world without nationalism, traditional dances, local dialects, tribal customs, and alternative worldviews might have flourished rather than being erased or homogenized. Governments would have less interest in imposing cultural unity, and societies would likely reflect a more layered, hybrid, and mosaic-like cultural texture. Education would not be a tool for identity engineering. Modern education systems are often designed to instill national identity from a young age, teaching a national version of history, emphasizing patriotic loyalty, and creating a sense of shared destiny. Without nationalism, education might have focused more on global citizenship, critical thinking, or regional knowledge, without the ideological burden of shaping future citizens loyal to a specific flag or narrative. The Olympics and global competitions would look entirely different. International sports, especially events like the Olympics or the World Cup, are deeply tied to national pride. Without nationalism, there would be no Team USA or Brazil versus Argentina. Instead, teams might represent cities, cultural groups, or transnational coalitions. Sports could shift from being battles of national superiority to celebrations of human excellence and cooperation, perhaps less intense, but more inclusive. Immigration might be a non-issue. In a post-national world, Immigration would be less politically charged. People wouldn't be labeled as foreigners in the same way, because there would be no rigid sense of a homeland to protect. Borders might still exist for administrative reasons. Integration could focus more on social cohesion than on identity conformity. Climate change cooperation might be easier. One of the biggest obstacles in addressing global issues like climate change is national self-interest. Countries hesitate to act unless others do the same, fearing competitive disadvantage. In a world without nationalism, humanity might feel more united in facing shared existential threats. Policies could be shaped around planetary stewardship rather than national competitiveness, fostering deeper and faster cooperation. The idea of home would be psychological, not political. People often feel an emotional attachment to their homeland, not just the place, but the nation it symbolizes. Without nationalism, this emotional geography would shift. Home would mean family, community, and personal memory, rather than a state-defined identity. Exile would feel different. So would migration. A person could belong in many places or everywhere, rather than being tethered to one mythical origin. National heroes would become local or global icons. Figures like Gandhi, Lincoln, or Ataturk are revered as national saviors. In a world without nations, such individuals might still exist, but their legacy would be viewed through a broader lens. They might be remembered as human rights defenders, peace advocates, or moral leaders without the nationalist frame. Global capitalism might be less ruthless, or even more so. Nationalism has occasionally placed limits on free markets, protecting workers or industries for the good of the nation. Without that restraint, corporations might operate with fewer ethical checks tied to national accountability. However, the absence of national competition might also ease economic tensions and reduce the tendency to hoard resources or dominate trade. Whether global capitalism becomes more compassionate or more cutthroat would depend on what ideology fills the vacuum left by nationalism. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.